Books are like imprisoned souls, till someone takes them down from a shelf and frees them. Samuel Butler. This is a book. Paperback, 400 pages, and never been read. There are millions of these things in the world, printed in different languages, different covers, in different sizes, with different stains donning their bindings, and different words printed on their pages. In a way, I think we're all kind of like books. Each one of us is unique. We tell different stories, create different feelings, and even look physically different. But when it all comes down to it, we're really all the same. We're all just books. We're all just human. But what does that really mean? According to the internet, there seems to be very little that makes humans different from other species. It seems that defining what it means to be human should be a fairly simple task. We're mammals who think and who speak, and who are susceptible to weakness and to failure. And yet, this definition seems to be lacking. As it turns out, it's actually rather hard to define what it means to be a human. Even as a human, I'm still not sure what exactly the definition should be. But my question is why? Why is this task so difficult? Why is there no definition that fully encapsulates what it means to be human? It's simple to say what makes a tree, or a book. But why are humans so different? I guess, in short, humans are complex, much more so than books or trees. We want to be everything all at once, and yet seem defined by absolutely nothing at all. Our lives are volatile and fickle, changing at the moments we least expect them to. Our human life, as we know it, is a question of nerves and fibers, and slowly built up cells in which our thought hides itself, and our passion has its dreams. We may fancy ourselves safe and think ourselves strong, but a chance tone of color in a room, or a morning sky, a particular perfume that you had once loved, and that brings subtle memories with it, a line from a forgotten poem that you had come across again, a cadence from a piece of music that you had ceased to play. It is on things like these that our lives depend. Sometimes, being a human can feel like walking on an aerial tightrope, suspended in a heavy fog. You can look behind you and know that there is some place where you began. And you can look in front of you and know that there is an end someplace in the distance. But all you can see is your 2 feet, creeping one in front of the other, down a dangerously thin wire. You can be told that there is an end, and that you are slowly approaching it, but you can't know how far along you'll be when you meet it. We spend our lives hoping that we live each day working towards the benefit of something good, something bigger than ourselves, something to make every anxious step worthwhile. We hope that at the end of our tightrope, we find some sort of solace in a sort of eternity. But we're always thinking of eternity as an idea that cannot be understood, as something immense. But why must it be? What if, instead of all this, you suddenly find just a little room there, something like a village bathhouse, grimy, and spiders in every corner? And that's all eternity is. We take each step with a sense of uncertainty and doubt, knowing that not moving forward means never reaching eternity, whatever it turns out to be. So, if life is like this big tightrope, then we have to find some way of staying on. We have to find our balance. Each person has a balance that's unique to them. Some of us need a little bit more hope to ease our despair. Others search for more humility to calm their prides. Some need courage to outweigh their cowardice. Others still seek knowledge to answer their most burning questions. And all of us hope to counter our deepest and most passionate hate with an all-consuming love. Finding the perfect balance can be difficult, and it's meant to be. If it were easy, then no one would complain about how bad life can be sometimes. Each of us is different. Despite the fact that we're all human, we all strive for different balances. Some of us may not be quite as well balanced as others. Some of us are a little tilted. Despite how difficult it may be, we cannot cease our walking on this tightrope of life. As long as we walk, as long as we live, there's always something waiting, and even if it's bad, and we know it's bad, what can we do? We can't stop living. We can't stop walking. In finding our own balance, we discover our individuality. We see that some of us are naturally more courageous, others more caring. But the big question is, how do we find our balance? How do each of us gather the traits that keep us from falling off? Well, I think we most often find our balance through the use of other people. Part of being human is not only being a learner, but a teacher. We share our strongest traits with others, hoping to stabilize them. And in return, we hope that they share a portion of themselves with us, so that we too can become more balanced. It is through these innate and shared differences that we are allowed to be fully ourselves. No one human is perfectly the same. It is not our balance that makes us unique. Rather, it is our imbalance. Each one of us walks our own tightrope to eternity, but we all walk it differently, finding how we can best fix or utilize the imbalance within ourselves to guide us safely to the end. In the times when we can't use those around us, we can often use those created for us. Ever since the dawn of man, people have been writing down how they felt, what they saw, or what they wished was real. In literature, we record all of human history. We record every human that is and or was. We even record ones that don't exist at all. So even when we feel like there is nowhere left to turn, no one left to go to, we can feel comforted by the characters so vividly described to us on a page. If we need more boldness, we run to the arms of Atticus Finch and the pages of To Kill a Mockingbird. If we seek wisdom, we listen to the eloquent words of Sam Hamilton in East of Eden. And if we need to laugh, we look for the outrageous confidence of Milo Minderbinder in Catch-22. Because just as humans are like books, books are also like humans. Some we want to hold on to forever, and some we'll never get the chance to meet. Some will stand out, others will fade away. But from all of them we take something. From each we try to even our balance. Being human is hard. It can be long and sad, and we may feel hopeless at times. But we must never give up. We must fight for our balance. We must fight to save ourselves. So just know that even if one chapter may feel like it is closing, and you feel like you're left with some hole, gap, or imbalance, rest assured in knowing that another one is just around the corner, ready to fix your tilt and keep you holding on just long enough for your book of life to reach a final and glorious closing.